Hey, and welcome back to Talk of Better Worlds. I'm SirFelixTheCat, and yeah, today I'm kind of alone. So Hawk is not with us today because, well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to set his whole nest on fire. So he's kind of MIA today, but he'll be back. Yeah. Normally I would ask him what he's been up to, how's his day been, what games he's been playing. I know he quit a game because it just overstayed its welcome, which I understand that. That was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I believe. Yeah, I'm sure he'll pick it up later. But yeah, let's jump into the news, because this is going to be kind of a shorter episode since it's just me. I just wanted to at least talk about a couple things, because I had a few news stories already picked out. So let's get this up. So I'm going to start off with some movie news and then go into video games and then some fun nonsense that is called U.S. politics. The first thing we have is the live action Masters of the Universe film, which I didn't realize was a thing, is filling out its cast. And I'm kind of interested in this. There's a couple people in here I really like and two that I have really no clue who they are. But yeah, so they're coming in, and the first one they have is Nicholas Galitzine or something like that from Idea of You, who is this guy. No clue who he is, but I mean, he's 6 feet tall, so he might be okay. I gotta see him when he's actually in He-Man form, though. Not really sure about that. And then for Evil Lynn, it's gonna be Allison Brie, who is Annie Edison from Community. And she was in the show Glow as a female wrestler, which is pretty cool. I like her. I'm excited for that one. Next up, we have Camila Mendez, who is Tila. She is from Riverdale. I've never seen anything else she's in. There's a few things here like Upgraded, The Perfect Date, Do Revenge, Dangerous Lies. Never seen any of this nonsense. But yeah, I mean, cool. Next up, we have Jared Leto, who is going to be playing Skeletor, who, I mean, the movie they reference him in the article is Morbius, which is probably one of the worst choices to reference him as, that and Joker, since nobody liked those two takes. But interested to see him do Skeletor. That could be cool. And then we have Idris Elba playing Duncan, Man-at-Arms, which, yeah, Idris Elba, everybody knows him. He's awesome. And then they added new characters. They're giving He-Man some parents, and there's going to be a guy named Fisto, which I'm kind of... You don't like Leto? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. He is a cult leader. I'll give him that. I'm more of a fan because I liked 30 Seconds to Mars when they first came out, and then some of his not big movies. He did some Yakuza-related movie on Netflix, which I liked. And yeah, I just like his first two albums from 30 Seconds to Mars. That's really it. Not really going to talk about his acting chops because, yeah, his few biggest movies are kind of bad. His roles are terrible. But we have James Purfoy, who's going to be his He-Man's dad. We have Charlotte Riley, who is going to be his mom, which is kind of weird because she's 43, the actor for He-Man is 30, so it's not much of a difference. But we'll see how that works out. We have Deadpool's girlfriend, who is going to be... Who is she? She's a sorceress. Yeah, the sorceress. There we go. That was easy. And then for Fisto, we have Johannes Hakur Johannesson, which I'm kind of familiar with some of his stuff. He was in Alpha. He was in... What's the other one I saw? Vikings Valhalla. That's all I really know him from. But I'm interested to see what Fisto is. Apparently he punches stuff. Very unique name. That's an interesting one. And yeah, so we have a PlayStation Vita game that's coming back, and it's going to be released outside of Japan. It was released in 2012 for the Vita in Japan only, but we're finally going to get it out in the US and other places. which is Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Battle Destiny Remastered. It's, I mean, if you've played Gundam games, you kind of know what you're getting into. It's something I'm excited for, just being a Gundam fan, but really, I don't think it's going to be for everyone, and this video is just trash quality right now. But yeah, it's got the open combat of Gundams. So it's going to be a Gundam game. I'm looking forward to it. I played it on the Vita in Japanese, but it was basically unplayable for me. I had no clue what was going on. But yeah, that's a thing. We have BioWare finally admitting something. BioWare devs were reportedly so burnt out, they wanted to make one game fail to make the studio realize, like, hey, this isn't the right way to make games. Basically doing an internal protest, which, you know, I approve of. Sadly, we're talking about BioWare, and this message just did not click with them because EA didn't care. The game they tried to make fail was Dragon Age Inquisition, which Inquisition still sold pretty well. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm kind of like mid on it. It's whatever. But yeah, sadly that didn't do anything. They also then after that came out with Anthem, which fun game for a bit. The story was super short and anticlimactic. But yeah, that one just pretty much failed. EA didn't really want to give it a chance after it came out and flopped. And then yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda, which again, I liked it. Most people don't. It wasn't really a normal Mass Effect game, which I understand that. And then we got Veilguard. So, you know, that protest worked very well. Very well. Kind of sad. Hopefully one day the studio can turn itself around. Mass Effect 4 coming up, or 5, whatever you want to call it. There's not much hope. Yeah, there's way too many games to keep up with anything. It's a bit much. We have Bobby Kotick, who was the CEO of Activision Blizzard before they got bought up by Microsoft, who came out and said that the lawsuits were fake and simply to drive up union membership. These lawsuits were about sexual harassment in the studio and all this other nonsense, and it was absolutely insane. And the guy who was kind of to blame for it all is now the one saying, like, oh yeah, all the rumors are fake. So, you know, let's believe the rich guy who cultured a just completely toxic atmosphere. I totally believe these claims. Oh yeah, it's fake. Definitely. Trump's always been innocent too. Let's just believe it all. A fun story was this company can't pay much, but it's offering free booze during work and hangover breaks. So, you know, you can't get paid much, so we're going to let you get drunk at work. And then if you get a hangover, you know, just take the day off. So if you want to, and you know Japanese, move to Osaka and apply for a job in this tech company, because that just sounds brilliant. Get hammered all day. And then we can't play this video due to network issues. Okay, so you guys know who James Carville is? The old man who all Democrats think is like just the most prophetic person to ever be involved with politics, like a commentator. Well, this guy, he's still coming out and we're still giving him a spotlight. And I think most people, at least currently, like in current times, gave up on him the second he came out during the last election and started basically bashing anybody who was part of the youth, like anybody under 30. Like, you're just dumb and lazy and don't know what's good for you. And I mean, partially, yeah, I can understand that. He, as an old man, just like yelling at kids to get off his lawn, I can see him coming from that angle. But why do we listen to this guy? Like, he is so just off base. He'll have a good point like every now and then, but then he'll finish that point by saying just something completely stupid. Just horribly, horribly stupid. And yeah, the things he's saying now, just it's your basic stuff. He's saying that the White House is nuttier than you even think. It's like, we all know that because it's talked about just nonstop. I don't get it. The Democrats are doing the same thing Fox News does, brings in people who don't matter, The things they're going to say are just circle talk. Why? Why do we deal with this? Why can't we get good news? Get someone who's actually going to say something, do something. It's insane. We also have people online who do the same thing. They'll talk about a story, but they don't actually say anything. You're supposed to be an opinion, and you're not giving an opinion. You're not stating anything that matters. It's absurd. It's like talking to Musk. Or talking to this idiot. Congresswoman wants to speak to dead JFK assassination investigators. She wants to bring back the Warren Commission and question them on the assassination because, they investigated it, so obviously they know a lot. Yet, the last person to died in like 2006. So, yep, we're just going to dig them up out of their graves, start asking them questions. Because, the party of brains, Republicans, they've got it down. They have got it down. That was just baffling. Absolutely baffling. Another baffling thing. So I forgot the other part of this story. Musk and Trump went into a New York City bank account. Like it was owned by the city. And they took out, it was like $8 billion, which was meant to fund housing for like immigration and like fixing up places. Just straight up yanked it. Oh yeah, I hate Shapiro too. He's not cool. I miss the previous governor, Tom Wolf. He was like middle ground, but he wasn't trash and like rooting for genocide, which is terrible. Like two people who got elected there, same election, are just pro-genocide. It's terrible. Fetterman and him. But yeah, Musk and Trump took out like $8 billion from New York, which was already approved by Congress. So now we're getting Shapiro is getting involved because they took $1.2 billion from federal funding from Pennsylvania, which also can't do. It was already approved by Congress. Taking the money that was pre-approved is just straight illegal. So yeah, we're going to see what happens with this one. I mean, I'm interested to see the case. It would be cool if we had someone better than that. There's still people coming out talking about this guy. Like, do you think he's going to run next election? It's like, why do you want that? Why do you want that? People are saying it's like him and AOC. It's like, okay, AOC, she's great at talking. She has some great points, but she doesn't do anything. She really hasn't done anything. So we'd have a guy who wants to like promote genocide and a lady who can do a lot of talking. That would be just fantastic. Let's just get nowhere. Let's just have Kamala come back. Let's have Kamala with Vice President Joe Biden. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. Now we have a case of child abuse. Musk's 4-year-old son, X, who has like the most child abuse name I've ever seen in my life. That's just cruel and unusual. But this was like the greatest thing to ever happen. This was hilarious. I don't know if you guys like watched all the reports and stuff. So little kid is like walking around, hanging out next to the desk, and he goes up to Trump at one point and he was like, "You're not the president. You need to get out of here," which is fantastic. I love that. Even though he was basically saying his daddy's president, which, I mean, technically, if you look at it, he is president right now. But then he also told him he needs to shut his effing mouth, which is just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And Trump, the way he looked at him after he said that was just like, huh? And went back. It's like, yep. Little kids telling you to shut your mouth. I loved it. Yeah, he was also picking his nose and like wiping it on the desk. That's great. But yeah, and then another thing with Musk and carrying this kid. This got pointed out, and I saw it first on Reddit, and then I had to like go back and like look this up. Musk started carrying his kid around everywhere just like that after the United Healthcare CEO was killed. And the way I look at that is like, oh, Musk usually is actually using his kid as protection. Shoot the kid, you won't shoot me. Which is horribly disgusting. But, I mean, it's to be expected. Yeah, human shield. Human shield. In his first step of just defunding schools outright, Trump moves to defund schools with COVID vaccine mandates. Which, you know, that's what we need. He already got us out of WHO. He's trying to shut down the CDC. So let's just get rid of everything that protects us from these illnesses, especially one that he already caused just millions of Americans to die from. Such a great leader. Such a great leader. But yeah, that's just absolutely terrible. We're going to defund schools because they want to keep kids safe. It's highly upsetting. And then one that made me laugh. Have you guys ever watched Jesse Dollemore? He's covered for Pac-Man and all this other stuff. That's where I first found out about him. He covered from Pac-Man one day. Jesse Dollemore, he's a leftist former Marine who does political channel. And he did a great video on this, which basically just came out and he waited the 30 seconds. He was like, once the 30 seconds is up, I'm going to tell you exactly how this is going to go. It passed up and he was like, fuck ICE. And it's like, there you go. That's beautiful. But yeah, ICE is expanding surveillance of its critics on social media. So now if you come out and you start talking ill about ICE and what they're doing and how they're corrupt and, you know, they're just wearing a police ICE sign instead of the swastika, which is what they really want to wear, then you will be targeted. They'll be looking into you. And it's great. It's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I mean, they're already trying to break into people's houses. They'll come into your house if you open your door, whether they have a, just opening your door to talk to them, they will just start barging in. No warrant, nothing. They figure since you open the door, they have every right just to walk in. These are great people. Great people. And also Trump is mad at them because their numbers so far have been terribly low. So he's having to like fire heads and move other people around and all this other stuff because he's not hitting like the million deportations a day that he wants. Just great people. To really come to 2 elementary schools in your city. That's what's scary. They shouldn't be allowed. Once they try to pass that rule where they can go into churches and schools, something should have been done. Like that should have been taken to Supreme Court right then. Hopefully, I mean, this is very wishful thinking since it is still a Trump-stacked Supreme Court, that something would have been done about that to, you know, stop this. You didn't go to the army or anything, right? Oh yeah, no, God no. I was never in the military. I have too many health issues. I have bone spurs, so I can't be drafted. But in all reality, I do have like a lot of medical issues. I tried to get into it was the army because my sister was in the army for a bit. I tried to get in, but they wouldn't take me. They looked at my medical records and just told me no. Which, understandable. I just wanted it for the, you know, free going to school and all that fun stuff. And then the last story, which is one I just saw a few minutes before I got on here. Trump is now pushing Romania to loosen its legal grip on Andrew Tate to lift their travel restrictions. Which is, yeah, that's straight out of the Trump playbook. Like, you know, we find someone who's doing human trafficking and basically sexual assault, and we're just going to go ahead and, like, you know, let them come back over here. We want them here because that is what Trump wants for America. Just, you know, let all the rapists and the pedophiles and the terrible scumbags like him take over the world. Like, that is just, that is a lot. I don't understand them. Like, I don't understand how we got to this point, besides the fact that a lot of people in this country are just stupid. Just horrendously stupid. We're already having farmers feeling the pain, which is what they felt the first time. Bankruptcies by farmers went up by like 24% in Trump's first presidency. And I mean, their suicide rates skyrocketed, especially after he screwed them. So yeah, well, let's just bring him back and have the farmers still try voting for him, support him, and then they're going to feel it again, and they're going to wonder why. They're already wondering why. They already sold their crops. They're just waiting to be, reimbursed for all the loans they had to take out, and they're not going to get it. They are sadly just not going to get it. It doesn't benefit the rich, so why would they get it? Oh. Yeah, it's been a fun time in politics for this past month, which feels like it's already been 2 years. Yeah, he's only been in office for about a month. I'm loving it. I'm just loving it. Yeah. Yeah, your kid's old enough to be aware. Yeah, in high school and middle school, I try to tell the one that's in middle school about it a lot. Try to show him all this bad stuff that's going on, so he's aware, so he sees this. I do want to talk to him about people like Tate and like the whole incel crowd, so he understands there people like that are also ones to avoid. You don't want to be like that. But yeah, I try to talk to them a lot about politics, get them somewhat involved and understand. I'm also very loud, and I honestly, I'm like pissed off about politics pretty much 24/7. And I listen to a lot of political stuff, so that everybody always hears it. But yeah, I wish everybody was more involved in politics. It can be a lot to deal with, like mentally, constantly thinking about it, but it's beneficial. Take short breaks if you have to, but don't lose sight of what's going on. Always stay informed, try to see what's going on, research. Don't just listen to like Tim Pool and all them who just spew nonsense. And especially don't listen to Nick Fuentes. That dude is, I don't know who I hate more, Fuentes or Tate. That's a hard one. Those two are just some of the worst people to ever exist. Trump is just stupid, but they are, those other two are on a completely different level. Yeah, local politics is very important. Very important. Nick Fuentes. Oh, I didn't know that they even knew each other. That's disgusting. Why would anybody who's not just a Nazi, like a male Nazi, be friends with Nick Fuentes? This dude is the one who said he's upset because he wants that the right isn't completely racist, sexist, and anti-Semitic. Why would a lady want to be friends with someone who looks down on women, who thinks that they're just worthless and basically they just belong in the kitchen making them a sandwich? I don't understand that one. I absolutely don't. Yeah, doesn't want women to vote. Yeah, no race mixing. You gotta stay pure. Even though isn't he mixed? He has some of his family is I believe Mexican. The dude doesn't know. Dude doesn't understand anything. He's just complete trash. Yeah. Yeah, a Mexican guy who's racist against anybody who's not white. so he hates himself. So he's Hitler. He's a self-hating person. Great. It is a wonderful timeline. But yeah, I didn't have much to go over today besides the news, just stories that I had pulled up. But one thing, since Hawk let me know he wouldn't be able to be on, I figured I would just talk about a show that I watched. Because next week we're going to do a more political heavy show. It's going to be about destruction, which the movie next week is epic. This week I watched an animated show, which I didn't realize exist, but I went onto Netflix for the first time in like 4 months and saw they had new things. But what I decided to watch was, if it loads, well, I think I'm freezing. Oh, did I freeze up? Oh, let me know if you can hear me or see me. I'm frozen on my side. Okay, well, I can't. My camera's frozen on my side. All right. So, yeah, I've watched Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. And if you're familiar with the Gundam shows, the old ones, you see it from the Earth Federation side. Like, that's your main focus. And you hear that Zeon is, like, the main bad guys. This one actually takes place from the other point of view. And it's much darker than Gundam was. This one shows more of like what it's like to be in the war. This takes place in the era of the 1 year war. And you have main chick here. She is the captain of they're called like the Red Hounds or something like that. I can't remember their crew's name. But she is a new type Gundam pilot. The ones that are like more sensitive to what's going on. They can sense emotions, sense danger almost. And it's her basically trying to survive. Because as they get going, they first come in and they just mop the floor with the Federation. And then the Gundam shows up. And the Gundam starts just tearing them apart. And these pilots, all they have are the Zaku 2s. And you watch this Gundam do what a Gundam does in the show. It just goes through and destroys the Zakus. But she is a good pilot, so she's able to fight them off somewhat. But you basically see a real struggle. People dying, your close allies just getting murked off. And it's crazy. It is a very intense show. It's only 6 episodes. They are going to come out with a second season. They said the second one will have a much bigger budget. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's a really good, dark story for the Gundam universe. It's one that I 100% suggest checking out. You'll see a lot of bad reviews. I went through some of them on IMDb from like the critics. And basically it came down to, this isn't a bright, flashy, happy, fun time story. I don't think they wanted the dark, grim reality of like, this is what war is more like. This is what a war in this universe would be like. How you're going to see your homies just get murked off. And they might not stand a chance. But it's a great, epic, short story. And I really can't wait for the second part, which should take place like, I'm guessing like 5-6 years after the first season. Yeah, it's one to definitely check out if you have Netflix. I 100% suggest this one. And there was the movie that's coming out too. There was more on the movie. I forgot to pull that up. But I'm hoping the movie takes something from this show. Actually makes it like a little bit darker, a little more just real. It'll be dope. It'll be dope. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about was hey, watch this show. U.S. politics sucks at the moment. We're living under just terrible times, and yeah, that's it. And if you want to get drunk at work, go to Japan. Yeah, so what is this? Oh, my chat just finally caught up to me. Goodness. I saw Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Who did this one? I'll check this one out. It's on it's distributed by Netflix, but it's showing it's only available for me to watch on YouTube. But yeah, I'll definitely check that one out. Yeah, I do like my psychological thrillers, so that'll be cool. Who's the artist on that? Because that looks familiar. No clue. Invincible. Oh no, I didn't know they were still doing episodes. I kind of stopped watching that after a while. I watched the first season, I watched up until where him and his dad fought, like the whole big battle, and he got thrashed. But no, I need to go back and watch that. I also want One Punch Man to come out with some new seasons. I want to see more of that. It's stupid, but it's hilarious because every time I see it, I just think of Superman, and this is how I view Superman. He's just too powerful, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens because he's going to come through and save the day somehow with one not even that strong punch. I also want more anime adaptations, which when I was reading about the Gundam movie, seeing like how they're talking about like all these ones that weren't terrible but people hated. There's some that were just bad. Like Death Note wasn't a great movie, decent cast, but just the movie was missing. Do I think new Superman? I'm hopeful. I like that it's stepping away from the comics. It's looking a little more realistic, and I do have some faith in James Gunn. I don't know if you watched his Suicide Squad movie, but I really liked that one. It was a much better story than the first one. It was interesting. But yeah, with it being Superman, it's hard for me to like want to be fully into it. I just get stuck there. I want to like it. It was like I kind of didn't want to like the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, but I ended up actually liking that one a lot. Like how it's a slower and more, I guess, less cartoony movie than every other Batman movie has been. Even though I would have liked to see the Ben Affleck movie that never got made. That would have been dope. Even though he was an interesting Bruce Wayne in the Justice League. I kind of like how they did him, like grumpier old man Batman. But I also think back to the Daredevil movie that he did, and that was trash. The only thing I liked about it was how they did the his vision back in the day, like the trash graphics. Yeah, sad Affleck. Even though he is doing that movie, I am excited for. Talk about it the other week. What is it? I can't. What is the job position? It's not the intern. It's the accountant. The TV show redeemed it, though. Which TV show? I mentioned a lot of things. It's hard for me to keep track of what I talked about. Oh yeah, Daredevil. Oh dude, that show was dope. I can't. I have my hopes that the new one that they're doing, Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus, is going to be good. It's just the fact that it's Disney and it's Disney Plus, where Disney Plus likes to do something somewhat okay and then just cancel it. I think they're worse than Netflix with that. They start something and just like, nope, we're done. Oh, this is going to be a whole show. Now it's just a mini series. It's upsetting. But if they do it, I do want to see them bring back everybody. Bring back Jessica Jones, bring back Cage, bring back Iron Fist, but give him time to actually get into his character, learn how to do like some martial arts for the screen, and then let's do it. So, I mean, if that show had better action scenes, Iron Fist would have been a good show. It was lacking. And in the second season, they brought in, or was it one of the seasons? They brought in the one chick, and she's actually decently good at TV martial arts fighting. She was also in Game of Thrones. She was one of the 3 sisters. I can't remember names. But yeah, I really just want to see Defenders. I want to see Defenders 2 and Defenders done right. And I liked Luke Cage. I like the actor who plays him. Colton, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, whatever happened with that? Legion. How long did this go for? Is it still on? Oh no, it stopped in 2019. Yeah, it's sad. It's on Disney Plus. I guess I could watch it. Well, I think this was FX. It was FX. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of a downside for it too, is FX. I think back before 2015, FX was bigger. More people actually watched it. But as we got further into the streaming series, or like streaming, age of streaming, things just died. We also had Marvel's Runaways, which, I mean, wasn't the best show, but it was also very short-lived. It was just another 2 seasons. I think it ran the same time as this one. And I don't know, they shotgun too much stuff out and don't give it enough care. But it would be cool to see them bring this back. Maybe if views go up for it on Disney Plus, maybe there might be some hope for it. It got great reviews. IMDb gave it a 8.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes a 91%. That is phenomenal for a TV show. And yet we can't get it. And then there's The Sandman. I wanted to watch that one. It's one of those things that's on my list. I'll probably never get to it because that's how I am. I plan things and never get around there. Yeah, we had Inhumans, which was a good character done terrible. Cloak and Dagger, which was just uninteresting, sadly. I didn't know what they were really going to do with that. Swamp Thing, that one got just destroyed. I loved Doom Patrol, at least the first 2 seasons. It got a little weird after that. What else did we have? I never watched the Watchmen show, like the movie. And Black Lightning was cool, but it didn't get enough love. It didn't get enough attention. But of course, racists also just shit all over it. They didn't like it. Because, not enough white men in it. Which I was, what game was coming out? Oh yeah, we were talking about, Hawk put out a video. Oh yeah, Umbrella Academy. I like the first one. The first season. I don't think I finished watching the second season. I know there was a lot of drama going on behind the scenes. I just can't remember what it was. And then people were also hating on the main girl in the movie, who is Juno. What's his name now? God, I can't remember his name. But he was Juno in Juno. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Yeah, but yeah, Ellen Page. Is it Eli? Because I thought it was something close. I can't remember. But yeah, I like Doom Patrol, Umbrella Academy. I am sad that people aren't liking Captain America. I could kind of see why, though, outside of racists. I can see why some people wouldn't be as into it. There's a lot of people who don't think that he was ever Captain America, which just shows there's a lack of comic information there. They don't realize that he once was Captain America, and so was Winter Soldier. They both played Captain America at one point. And yeah, being a Hulk sequel is kind of sad. But also they have a really old man playing Red Hulk, which is kind of a letdown. I mean, nothing against him as an actor. I mean, I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones, big fan of the Star Wars movies he was in, except for the one where he gets killed because that was just stupid. But yeah, Harrison Ford was great, but to have him at his age come out and play that role just doesn't make much sense. Even though he's not doing as much like actively, it's just he is super old. Kind of bring out someone who's maybe a more hothead to do it. I don't know. It's bad casting calls there. But I feel like Disney's been having part of that issue too. It was like after the original few Marvel movies they did, things just kind of went downhill for casting. They're just reaching out and trying to also pull out every character, just all the mainstream ones, then try to make other ones big. They're already replacing Adam Warlock, who we previously seen as a different actor in another movie, and they just can't stick to anything. Plus, they have the guy who was he was in Ant-Man 3, Jonathan Majors. He had his whole legal issues and might be coming back, might not be coming back, but they already moved on from that storyline, so having him come back would be kind of weird. It's a disaster. I think they got too big. Just way too big. And the fact that DC wants to follow that with the movie is like, cool, you're going to get maybe some better quality movies, but you're also just risking it just to collapse like the MCU is doing. Less and less people are interested by them. And like I did watch, Hawk sent me a short the other day that was kind of interesting. This guy came out in like a full legit Captain America costume. And he even had a special magnet attached to it, like under his suit on his back, and then one like tucked behind some stuff on his shield, so he could literally just slap the shield on his back, and it looked dope. And he came out and he was like, the one thing people are missing is I like these MCU movies because I'm there to watch it and just have a good, dumb, fun time. But I think people are looking too much into it. It's like, yeah, I kind of do fall into that. I don't want to be that person who like criticizes like this is nothing like the comics. But then again, if you're trying to portray things from the comics, like when MCU decided to be like, oh yeah, we are in the 616 Prime timeline. Now you kind of have to follow the comics. You're putting yourself in the timeline of the comics. Why not just stick to we're in a different timeline? We're in a different universe. Like I didn't understand that one. That was like shooting themselves in the foot. That was just horrendously stupid. Because if you're in a different timeline, you won't have any nitpicks because there's no way to nitpick it. Just be like, we're in the 1712 universe. Okay, it's all yours. Have fun. Do whatever you want. You can gender swap characters. People wouldn't have as much of a gripe because it's in a different universe. Completely different timeline. I don't get people. Whoever came up with the idea to make it a Prime timeline is just dumb. Oh, I just thought of another show. Another show I liked that was short-lived. Did you ever watch Krypton? The Sci-Fi Channel show? Because that one was, it was crazy. It was slow at parts, but they did a good job, like showing what it was like, showing a weird-looking Brainiac, and just, yeah, that was a show that I wish would have been on a different network. But yeah, I do recommend that one. It's only like 2 seasons. I think it got canceled. Yeah, 2 seasons. It's not the most action-packed thing. It's more actiony than Smallville was. It's to me, it's a better story than Smallville was, but it's also super short and it has its slow moments. But it's great for building up what happened there for what we don't really get told that much, and if we do, it's like brief mentions in comics. Yeah, if you can find that one, definitely check it out. It's on YouTube for $2, and then yeah, it looks like it's $2 everywhere. Apple TV, Amazon Prime. What else do we have here? I tried watching Arrow back in the day because I do like Green Arrow. He's a funny, cocky character. But God, that show went on for too long. Like, you want to talk about things overstaying their welcome? Arrow definitely did. I got maybe 6 seasons into it, and I was like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. No more of this. Let's just end it all. Still going through different shows, see what other superhero shows I've seen, and ones that I've never even heard of. Hellstrom. I've never heard of this one. Like, ever. I don't even know what it's based on. Which, speaking of DC and stuff like that, they were going to apparently make a Constantine game back in the day. Like, I don't know if it was going to be like based around the movie with Keanu Reeves, but just the character, that would have been awesome. That would have been interesting to see. I don't know how they would have done it, like what kind of game it would have been, because he fights, but he's not like a fighter. So I guess it might be like more of a detective talking game. Really don't know, but still be interesting to see it. There's been a lot of superhero games that were just straight canceled. What is New Warriors? The New Warriors. This is it was a pilot, and that's all they got. They got a pilot episode back in 2018, and it just ended. Interesting. It had an interesting cast, though. Let's look at this one. Let me share this, because I've never heard of this one. Oh, okay, I hope you can see it. My screen's doing that thing where it shows me that I'm frozen. But yeah, it looks like it was a live action show, maybe with some animation going on in it. But they had Squirrel Girl. Like, it looked like it was going to do a bunch of just oddball heroes that we don't hear from that often. Yeah, it got one episode and it was canceled. Just got its pilot. But yeah, it had David Keith. I know I've seen Jeremy Tardy. I've seen Worthy. And where's the chick? That's not her, is it? Yeah, it is. It is her. She just looks weird. But yeah, Melania. I'm not even going to try to say it. But yeah, that's sad. That is sad. We could have had something kind of interesting. But I mean, doing Squirrel Girl in anything just seems like it'd be kind of hard. She's too powerful. Which is that issue I kind of have with Superman. He's too powerful. But it would have been cool. Would have been an interesting one. I wish they would give it another shot. I mean, just for like some of the other characters. Like, I want to see something based on Nova. I do like Nova, and I think they were making a movie. Who knows if it's ever going to come out. This is MCU, so possibly never. And the New Warriors did have multiple different swap outs, because I think Captain Marvel was part of it at one point. Yep. Yeah, that's one that I would like to see come back. Get some of the Squirrel Girl. But yeah, that is where I am going to call it today. I don't have a SCP, none of that stuff going on. I'll save that for next week. But do definitely come check out next week. Hawk will be back. His power is out because we've had super strong winds here. So sadly, his power is out. It's going to be back like for 2 days or It went out yesterday. Out all day today. Comes back tomorrow at like noon. So hopefully he's good. It's supposed to get super cold tonight, so I really hope he has fuel in his generator, because that is gonna not be fun if he doesn't. But yeah, no, you're perfectly fine. Thanks for staying and hanging out with me. I very much appreciate that. I am very glad you were here. But yeah, I'll see you next week, and until then, take care.